supply. I mean, this is not a high-use building, you know, people aren't taking showers and doing laundry, and, I mean, this is a lot less of a use than even a residential application would be.
Well, where are we getting the numbers for that? Where we actually?
Well, the numbers will get put together, you know, by me right now.
Okay, that's great.
I'll
Okay.
throw the building on, I'll get a layout, and I'll come up with what I believe would be a reasonable design flow for the building, for the leach field.
Okay.
The leach fields now, they're pretty standardized as far as the types, a type of leach field that are putting in. If we were really tight for space and we need to go under a parking lot, that would require a different type of system that could support the weight of the cars. We're gonna have room here, much room to put it out on the edge in the grass, and it's gonna be, you know, it would even be a usable area for garden space. You know, there's nothing wrong with doing stuff on top of a leach field. It's a really good spot actually to work, because they're kind of nice and flat. And so they're not going to be high cost components, because they're not going to be high volume, high usage type of systems.
Okay, well,
And again, even if you could, the well itself, you know, it's quite expensive to put a well in. But if you could get some negotiation, find out that other well has capacity, you know, it's quite a lot cheaper just to dig a trench and to put a pipe in than it is to drill a well in the ground. So that would be an area that you could maybe save, you know, $40,000 or $50,000 potentially.
that's a big chunk of money though.
It would be. So, but I think, you know, for you guys to be able to say, standalone, whether we get any, whether we work together or not, or get creative, we can do it. You know, we can do it on our property. We have enough space to do everything we want to do. So even with the well, I can try to, I'll find some information on other wells in the area, and then once we know about how deep we'd have to go, how deep ledge is, we can come up with an estimate. So we can refine that conceptual estimate a little bit more, you know, as we're going along. I can price out the site work, you know, what we would say for that.
Yeah, and all these things that get priced out doesn't mean that we're going to be offsetting them with donations of, you know, labor and materials. I mean,
Exactly.
the Green Oak gravel pit has been, you know, donating to us right along, so I'm assuming that perhaps they'll even help us out with that type of stuff. So the cost that we're doing would be cost without donations.
Right.
And so I have a feeling that we're going to actually underspend that, according to what happens with prices. You know how that is.
Yeah, you heard it here.
You can't control
Coming
prices.
under budget.
You can't control prices.
That's the other side of the equation. What's the cost? How much do we have? How much do we need?
And what happens if phase one is more than the
Do we
budget?
have a idea of what that is?
Oh, do look at the glass half empty, please.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say
Well,
for the
you don't know if it's empty unless you know what the actual size is, half empty or half full. Where is it? Where's it coming from?
where
She just said.
what
that
happens if
the
you're
glass
still on the
empty,
analogy
half full.
part.
It's an
You don't know
idiom.
how big the glass is. How much water you already
That's
have in
not
it.
what I meant.
So I actually, though, for the interest of time, and trustees
Yeah.
have to make one more decision.
Yeah.
I'm going to close the public comment. But when we share this stuff, you know, we're going to be taking your comments, and some of it we can address. Some of it, I have a sense that we're just never going to be able to answer enough to make you happy. But we will try. And
Would you just answer my question I threw out before Deb interrupted me, please? When were these decisions made?
decisions for all these costs. and
Where you're
stuff.
at, yeah, where you're at right now, because I've heard that Delana talked to somebody and Deb talked to somebody, and I'm
Yeah.
just wondering, did our select board liaison completely drop the ball and not tell us any of this was going on? Or was it
I
not
didn't-
happening in meetings?
I didn't make any decisions.
Yeah, I mean, I would say we're in the information gathering stage, so we've relied on volunteers and friends to help us make these decisions.
The proposal was
So
done in
the library
2019.
trustees did not make these decisions as a board.
We have voted to approve the plan and move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the information that was presented to us.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you're here now to look at this stuff and say, I like it or I don't.
Right.
It's not up to me, it was just,
In 2019, the proposal was put forth and the trustees approved it. And the select board was very enthusiastic about it as well at that
I
time.
don't think it, was it
But the
2000?
select board didn't approve it, so don't confuse that.
No, I just said they were enthusiastic about it. I didn't say they approved it. I said the trustees approved it. Unanimously.
So thank you everyone for your comments. Thank you especially to our professionals and experts who came in and volunteered their time and your Saturday afternoon to go through this. There's one more item that Karen and I want to discuss, which is the hiring of library staff.
That wasn't in the meeting posting?
It's on the agenda.
The agenda's not posted?
So this is there's no. I'd like you to point to the RSA where it says we have to share the agenda content because
There
that's
isn't one.
there isn't one.
But the meeting was
So-
posted as a workshop to discuss the building construction.
Yeah, and so this is other business. So we're down to one library staff member, and after conversations with the Attorney General, so we know that the trustees are actually in charge of hiring all staff. Previously, we've let the director hire staff with some of our comments or suggestions, but ultimately we hire the staff. So knowing that we're down to just one person, I thought it'd be nice to hire two additional, or at least up to two additional staff members. And so in the past week, Deb Clough has agreed to come back as needed with her library experience, and Susan Feinberg has also agreed to be trained to operate the library, just so that we can make sure the shifts are covered, and we have a larger body of trained librarians. So I would like to continue to hire Deb Clough and Susan
Thank you.
Feinberg as library aides.
I second.
Okay. That's great.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Am I interim director?
There, no.
But there's going to be no director. I'm just staffing it. Okay, just wondering.
Right. I think technically, well, I would say because there hasn't been like an application and like an interview process.
Okay.
Maybe we'll just keep it. My thought was to just keep
Just
it
cover.
as library staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a conflict if she's elected as a trustee?
Yeah. So
Yes.
so if elected come March,
Yeah.
you'd be stepping
I
down
have to
from.
step down.
And I just want to make it clear that I'm absolutely going to do this to build a bridge for the library, but I'm not considering this.
None of this is
Permanent.
permanent, right? This is
I just want
temporary
to
through
make sure
town
the
meeting.
library is not closed during its regular hours while we're working out long-term staff.
Yes. Thank you for highlighting that. This is just through March
Right.
14th or so.
Does that mean you'll be open on Wednesday mornings again?
I think it'll depend on the staffing availability, but it opens up Wednesday to being back
Yes.
on the schedule.
Yes.
Yep. So let's you feel like adjourning at 2:46?
Yes.
Let's do it. Thank you everybody.
Thank you.